Springtime, so I thought I'd show a little bit about my little plywood boat that I built. It's Paul Elkin style. It's plywood on frame, just furniture backing plywood. Transom's made out of glued up pine. It's got a little trolling motor. Cut the top off the trolling motor, put the controller in the cockpit. Bought a little Harbor Freight trailer. Put some bunks on it. Cut the head off of the motor. Mounted it inside. Put in a little power meter and some power outlets and a horn and the lights and things we need to register it. The motor just mounts screwed on and the motor comes on and off. Simple steering like a soapbox racer. And the power just plugs in and out with a trailer connector. When I built it, the boat has a chamber in the front that's totally sealed from about the start of the cowling there all the way to the tip. That's watertight and stuffed full of foam. And the center part is just open cockpit, basically the entire length of the cowling there. And then from the seat back all the way to the back, this whole compartment is watertight. So if it flips over or I swamp it or whatever, it should stay floating long enough to flip it over and bail the water out of the cockpit and get back in it. And it is just wide enough to where you could crawl back in it a little easier than a canoe. It's 36 inches wide and just under 8 feet long, and it's got 17-inch high sides at the highest point. One nice detail I lucked into was I decided to nail the plywood down, so I used these little bronze nails, and they look good. They match the plywood, and when you sand into them, they keep their shiny. So it kind of looks nice. You got to fasten it with something, and they're not really cheap, but you don't need that many of them. Transom on it is a full 1-inch thick piece of glued up pine, and it has fiberglass cloth and fiberglass on it. All the frames run into it, and then it's beefed up on the inside where the motor hangs off of it. Flooring in it are just little slats. That was a mistake. I screwed them down to the framework, and now it's hard to get the water out of it. And you can see it's a plywood on frame sort of thing. There's the frame slats sit on. It's glued to the bottom and the sides. Makes for a real strong bond. Running a Minn Kota 55-pound thrust Endura Max motor. I cut the head off of it and made a little mounting block to put it on and put it up here in the cabin. I did waterproof all of the connections and then ran heavy gauge SO cord back to the trailer connector that I used to plug the motor into. It's just a regular, something I bought at Walmart. It's a Curtis, I believe. Okay, the motor just plugs in to that trailer connector, and it's just the male and female trailer connector I bought. Got the hole where I cut the top of the shaft sealed good watertight and wrapped the cabling to protect it. Goes onto a mount with this quick release pin here. Just pull that out, the whole thing comes out. Steering is just cable steering like soapbox racer sort of thing. All the wiring and everything for it's fused and appropriately sized, and all my connections are waterproofed outside this compartment because this compartment is totally watertight. But just in case for splashes and stuff, I put my fuses and my shunt for my meter and everything in these little sandwich containers. Really cheap. I think I paid $1 for them at Big Lots. The trailer this thing's sitting on is just a little Harbor Freight 4x4 utility trailer that I put some bunks on and a little padding, neoprene padding, just those little floor square pads for your shop. Nothing fancy about the trailer, but it ought to last long as I need it to. It's rated, the weight on it's like 10 times what the boat and everything in it weighs, so it's not heavy duty, but it doesn't need to be. And I added about an 8-foot tongue on the front of the trailer. Took the old tongue off and put the new one in, just so it'd back a little better. Nothing fancy. These didn't need to be full inch 2x, but that's what I had. All the trailers, lights and everything, it's legal. And again, I live very close to the lakes and haul it with a very small car, so it doesn't have to be highway worthy. So there she is. A little bit of plywood, a little bit of epoxy, a little bit of glue. Ready for bobbing around on the water. Didn't have any kind of boat building skills or anything when I first decided to build it. Just watched some YouTube videos, Paul Elkins, American Boathead, some other guys. Thought that looks like fun. Fun little project, not outrageously expensive, and with the videos and things online, just about anybody can put one together. A couple months.